Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos and leave commentaries and also educate each and every one of ours, you guys are the real MVP. So guys, so lovely. So I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share where China or Asian American people are having an emotional breakdown after the present administration has strictly cut off their visas to especially the international student coming from China and every other Asian countries. Lovelies, this got a lot of people reacting, especially people from China, due to the fact that they also contributed with affirmative action and now they are reaping the fruit of their own labor as well. Like this fan out state, everyone is finding it out. Let's get into it and share live.
The Fuck Around and Find Out tour has made its next stop, y'all. This time it's Asians. So remember, just a few years ago, Asian Americans sued the government because they felt that affirmative action was giving black students an unfair advantage in terms of college admissions and that black students were taking their place. Well, they worked together with conservatives and got affirmative action overturned. Now, fast forward to today, the Cheeto-in-Chief is wanting to revoke all student visas from China. That means that Chinese students from colleges and universities in this country, including Ivy League schools like Harvard, would be expelled. Anti-blackness is biting these folks in their ass. So you had the Latino community find out, the Muslim and Arab American pro-Palestine activists find out, white farmers and small business owners find out, red states like North Carolina and Arkansas find out, and now Asians are finding out as well. It's wild to me how their anti-blackness and their racism has blinded them to the fact that they are hated by the dominant society just like black folk. And now they are paying the price and they are reaping what they have sown. Oh well.
I don't know if you heard the news, but US basically canceled a bunch of Chinese student visa. And at surface, you're like, oh, what's the big deal? It's actually huge. Let me explain why. I know why US want to cancel, because it's some government official be like, oh, the Chinese students are coming here studying and taking advantage of our school system and then go back to China and copy our ideas and blah, blah, blah. That's just the blunt kind of lack of understanding of how technology and how society really works. Why it's important to not think that way is because literally, if you look at the top professors, scientists that are living in US, you look at the credential, how they became who they are, almost all of them are from China. It's crazy. Like that one guy, look him up. He is literally the only guy, well, he's the one who invented it. He figured out how evolution works and he's changing our DNA. Yeah, it's nuts. Like he's studying at, I forget, one of the fancy schools in the US. There's another guy, they actually just they fired him recently. He single-handedly is basically protecting all of us from data privacy and security threats. Again, another Chinese American professor. I'm just giving you an example because not just Chinese people, but everyone comes to US to learn, to have this opportunity to advance in technology for all of us, society. And they live here in US because they want to raise their kids here. And they feel safe. They feel like US has taken care of them. So they raise their family. Their kids are going to school here. And their grandkids are going to school here. But when you block that access, you disconnect the world. It's a huge disruption, not to just US and China, but the whole world. So anyways, it's a terrible news, and I hope they revert it back.
No one's entitled to a student visa.
So you
we deny
revoked her
visas every
student
day,
visa
and we will revoke
based
and
on
continue
an
to revoke
op-ed,
visas.
which trumps the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution.
Someone's coming up
You
here to stir up problems on our campus. We're going to revoke their visa.
She didn't
They're
do any of
guests.
that.
We will revoke the visa of anyone who's in this country as a guest.
Are
who's
you
here to stir up
going to
trouble.
revoke the visa of somebody who made
Send
that?
me the case. I'll look at it.
that
I'm looking
statement?
to get crazy people
actually,
out of our
it's not
country.
just about revoking.
Forward
You
to
actually,
revoking the visas
Secretary
of any
Rubio,
lunatics you
excuse
can
me,
identify.
reclaiming my time. Can you explain to me why the Trump administration granted refugee status to Charles Kleinhaus, the white Afrikaner who tweeted that exact statement that I just said? There's the case.
That's not a visa.
You granted that person
That's
to
a
enter
totally
the United
different process.
States.
That's someone that applied here through a totally different process.
Secretary Rubio,
student visas are a privilege.
Secretary
we deny
Rubio,
them all the time, and we'll
you
revoke them.
revoked
And-
a visa based on an op-ed, and then you allowed for
Gentlelady's time has
masked
expired.
men
That's
to
your
snatch
claim. That's
somebody off
accurate. That's
the
your claim.
street.
Your time's expired.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is now starting to cancel the visas of Chinese students to the U.S. colleges and universities, specifically ones that have ties to the CCP. The battle has begun. Well, this is, I guess you can call it the pre-battle, pre-visualization of what's to come. That's right. We are going to be at war with the CCP, and it's time to start getting it out of our universities, our institutions, and our government. It's a big issue.
We need to talk about China. The U.S. State Department announced today that they will, quote, aggressively revoke student visas for Chinese nationals. This specifically targets students, quote, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. Given the lack of guidance from DHS on how they might implement this new strategy, it is hard to say exactly how and when this will occur. But I will be tracking it closely, so please follow me for updates. Having worked with many exceptional Chinese students over the years, I believe that they bring a unique and valuable perspective to the class and community. If you are affected by this new policy, please comment below. I want to hear from you. Do you think that removing Chinese students from U.S. universities is a good idea?
2 days ago, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the Trump administration would look into revoking Chinese student visas if they were found linked to the Chinese Communist Party or if they were working in critical fields. And this coming so soon after the administration tried to deny foreign students admission into Harvard. Not a good look. Chinese internationals are some of the smartest people I've ever worked with. And who are you going to replace them with? We in America burn books, force the Bible into our curriculums, and our Secretary of Education doesn't even know what AI is.
Okay, let's see A1 and how.
A1 steak sauce.
Also, how would you know if any Chinese students or workers have ties to the Chinese government? It just sounds like an excuse to deport anyone you want to. We are quickly becoming the very countries we've been taught to despise growing up.
Breaking immigration news. Marco Rubio just announced that they'll start aggressively revoking visas for international students from China and include, additional scrutiny for for students specifically that are coming from China and Hong Kong. As this article also points out, there's over 250,000 Chinese students currently in the U.S. International students also contribute billions and billions of dollars to the U.S. economy and often subsidize the tuition costs of U.S. local students. As always, I'll keep you guys updated. Once again, this is just a statement. This has not gone into effect yet. We'll see how the story progresses and go from here.
Okay, this is actually breaking news. The Trump administration just paused on student visa again. Today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio ordered all U.S. embassies, consulates worldwide to stop scheduling new interviews for international students, for people who are applying for F, M, and J visas. The reason? Expanded social media vetting. That means if you are a student hoping to study in United States this fall, your plan might be on hold. Already scheduled interviews will still happen for now, but any open slots are being pulled immediately. The new vetting policy includes scanning platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X. Official says it's about national security and a crackdown on foreign influences and anti-Semitism on U.S. campuses. But there are going to be some side effects. Thousands of students face delays or disruptions. Universities, especially those relying on international enrollment, could lose major revenue, and the cultural diversity on campus will take another hit. This follows Trump's recent crackdown on Harvard, and other schools, signaling that this administration's students' visa policies are becoming more aggressive by the day. My problem is, will this make America safer or just less attractive for what top students? Let me know what you think, and if you want more updates like this, do not forget like and follow and share. Thank you.
We have major breaking news right now. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has just announced that the United States will begin revoking the visas of Chinese students. The Chinese students that will be impacted include those, according to Rubio, that have connections to the Chinese Communist Party or, quote, study in critical fields. This is the statement that was just issued by Rubio minutes ago on his Twitter. As you can see, it says the U.S. will begin revoking visas of Chinese students who are studying in critical fields. Now, this is very vague, so if you are a Chinese student or you know a Chinese student, spread the word, because a critical field could mean anything from engineering to science to medicine, anything. We don't know what Rubio and the State Department are doing, when they're going to start revoking these visas and ordering the deportation of students from campuses, but this is a significant escalation and could impact thousands of Chinese students currently studying in the United States of America. Spread the word so more people know. I'll have a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for free and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Pretty big news coming from the State Department today. Marco Rubio announced that we will be revoking Chinese students' visas.
In a statement overnight, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said they will aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, including those with, quote, connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields.
Rubio added that the State Department was revising visa criteria to enhance scrutiny of all future applicants from China, including Hong Kong. I'm sure Rubio's not going to get any blowback for any of this at all whatsoever. The left's definitely not going to be mad. Mr. Rubio's brief statement announcing the visa crackdown did not define critical fields of study, but the phrase most likely refers to research in the physical sciences. In recent years, American officials have expressed concerns about the Chinese government recruiting U.S.-trained scientists, though there is no evidence of such scientists working for China in large numbers. Fun fact, Chinese students make up a large share of student visas. In 2024, about 20% were granted to Chinese students. It is unclear how U.S. officials will determine which students have ties to the Communist Party. The lack of detail on the scope of the directive will no doubt fuel worries among the roughly 275,000 Chinese students in the United States. That's a lot. I understand revoking access to anyone who may have ties to the CCP, but in general, I really don't have a problem with them being here and studying. I mean, our students go abroad and study, but I do understand that they are approaching this from a national security concern. Either way, do y'all think he's going to get blowback? Does this make Rubio a xenophobe?
Breaking news. This was just released 30 minutes ago by the State Department. New visa policies specifically restricting Chinese students, Chinese citizens, their ability to get visas to the United States. These regulations are targeting Chinese students and Chinese citizens with links to the Communist Party. Number one. Number two, any students that are studying in the STEM professions, tech, math, science, are being targeted. They're going to be working with DHS to revoke visas, tighten policies of Chinese nationals coming into the United States or those that are already here. All future visa appointments from China and Hong Kong are going to face very strict vetting rules. America first, this policy is aimed to prioritize the United States and its interests. Once we know more, I'll update you, but if you're from China and you're in the United States, specifically on a student visa, you might be losing that status very soon. Stay tuned, follow me for more updates. I'm here every single day.
China's President Xi Jinping's daughter, who lives in the United States, along with 275,000 Chinese students, are facing visa revocations. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the United States will aggressively revoke the visas of Chinese students, particularly those that have ties with the CCP, or if they're studying in critical fields. And what many people don't know is that this policy is actually targeting students in sensitive areas like AI and semiconductors, citing national security concerns. However, critics are arguing that deterring CCP connections is complex and may lead to arbitrary decisions. And now even the Chinese government are saying that these sort of policies are discriminatory towards Chinese and any other foreign students. And the reason why all these universities are crying is because of their influx of foreign students that study at our universities. And they don't just study there, but they're bringing their money with them. So do you think the United States should move forward with revoking these visas, especially during the times that we're living in? Or do you think that this may be a mistake? Let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that follow button for your daily updates. China's President Xi Jinping's daughter, who lives in the United States, along with 275,000 Chinese students, are facing visa revocations. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the United States will aggressively revoke the visas of Chinese students, particularly those that have ties with the CCP, or if they're studying in critical fields. And what many people don't know is that this policy is actually targeting students in sensitive areas like AI and semiconductors, citing national security concerns. However, critics are arguing that deterring CCP connections is complex and may lead to arbitrary decisions.
The State Department made another announcement around student visas, this time targeting Chinese students. What can you tell us?
That's right. Last night, Secretary of State Marco Rubio issued a surprise announcement saying that the U.S. is going to begin aggressively revoking the visas of Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or those who are studying in critical fields. It's unclear, Tony, what sparked this decision and how many visas they plan to revoke, but this is pretty big. Chinese students make up 20% of all the student visas issued by the United States.
Like, seriously, lovelies, at this point, the FA and FO is just going round the clock. Everyone is testing the bits of their own medicine. Everyone is who actually contributed in every round, thinking that they were going to bring down some group of people, are finally saying that they ended up bringing themselves down. Like, when people say that there is something they call karma, I never believed in karma, right? Like, I don't really take karma serious. I just believe that, okay, life happens and all of that. But I am beginning to believe in karma. Like, even if I don't believe in it 100%, but this aftermath is just so shocking. The first brother I stitched his video, actually brought me back to something I actually forgot, the affirmative action. I will not forget the controversies with affirmative action. Like, I remember vividly that I was one of the, content creators that stitched the video, try to tell these people, try to oh my god, don't go for it, oh my god, it's going to affect you, oh my god, these people don't care about you. During the time of affirmative action and them dismantling it or not, it was just as if removing affirmative action was going to give way for all of the Chinese people to come study in Ivy schools, the Ivy League schools. In case of people who, who are not conversant with the affirmative action story, it actually happened. I think a Chinese or an Asian student got a score which might probably take him into these Ivy schools or get him admitted into these Ivy schools. But one thing led to the other. The Ivy schools didn't grant him admission. Then he decided to sue one of these Ivy schools. I think is it Oxford? I don't know. Like, one of the Ivy schools. Okay, maybe it's Oxford or whatsoever. So when he sued this, he was like, okay, he got all of the scores to get into the school and they are not getting him admitted. Oh my god, he wanted to sue the school. Instead of him to go at least to reapply or maybe check other Ivy League schools, he decided he was going to get himself enrolled in a said particular school. And when he sued, he was seeing affirmative action. He was like, oh, because of that, some people who are not qualified, maybe who are not educated or intelligent enough, got into these schools because of affirmative action. He was like, people, especially people that looks like me, got into these Ivy League schools because of affirmative action, and because of that, he cannot get into the school. And before you know it, so many Asian people joined him. Everybody was like, okay. Every Asian person was like, affirmative action should be dismantled. People should get admitted based on merit. And people were like, okay, who are they actually referring to? Everyone knows. These people thought that affirmative action was benefiting people that looks like me, without even realizing that this said affirmative action was benefiting pan-colored women. It was all back and forth, you know. Affirmative action was dismantled. It was removed. And that didn't even stop there. At the end of the day, Asian student who actually got admitted into this Ivy League school, their percentage drastically reduced upon the removal of affirmative action. That was when some Asian family and family friends, parents were all out on the social platform crying and talking about how, oh, we never knew that affirmative action never favored the people that we were expecting them to, people that looks like me. They were all crying that the percentage has drastically reduced. That they teamed up with some bank-colored people and all of that. Black people, on the other hand, after seriously warning them, they were just on their own. People was like, okay, this is what we told you guys. You guys actually thought that all of these things are like every other person is just coming for people that looks like you, thinking that oh, they have one special benefit. Now, affirmative action was dismantled. These guys are still not even admitted. Like the percentage was not increased. Even if they are the more people, they are one of the people who go to all this, And now, this present administration has cancelled especially from China, their visas. And now, look at what is happening. When you think that you are coming for someone, when you think that you are doing something to, hurt someone, you don't even know that you are going to go ahead hurting yourself. My grandfather used to say that when you are pointing a finger at someone, always remember that 4 other fingers are pointing directly back at you. Now look at it. Everyone is actually finding it hard. Like Hispanic people, Asian people, Indian American, every other POC, every other minority group. Like, how can you, with your full chest, vote against your own self? How can you do that to yourself? Probably these Asian people will get admitted. Maybe they should look for schools elsewhere, maybe Europe, Canada, or UK, because it's getting tougher and it's going to get more tough. Each and every person there, we are surprised with a breaking news. If it's not immigration thing from the Hispanic community, it will be deportation from ICE. Now Asian, Cuban. Oh my God. Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel or to this earth stand, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one. Your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.